Good morning, Lake Houston Church, and Merry Christmas. I'm sure by now you've already torn through all your gifts and are enjoying the things that you have received this morning. As you can tell, we're still anticipating tearing into ours. But I appreciate so much you taking the time to tune in with us for a little while. We didn't ask you to come into church today. Instead, we're coming around together as a family, inviting you to join us. We've got some songs prepared, some stories, some food even, and hopefully a little bit of fun. I want to introduce a few folks to you so that you kind of understand who is in our family room with us this morning. Over here, we got Grandma Peggy and Grandpa Gary. These are Sarah's mom and dad, and we're actually at their house this morning for Christmas morning. We also have with us our daughter Mia, our son-in-law Michael, and our grandson that is on his way still, not due till March, but he's getting his first Christmas with us today as well. So anyways, sit back, relax, sing along with us, and invite you to open up your hearts to the newborn King. So I'm thinking about Christmas a long time ago. Mia was 10. Benny was just 3. Was Olivia even born yet? I think she was still.
Nope.
She wasn't even born until the next year. Well, this particular year was the year of the Nintendo Wii, and so somewhere in early November, I started shopping for a Nintendo Wii, and I had it in my mind that we were getting a Wii for the kids. So I was online almost every day, and I'd find a deal and I'd bring it to Sarah. Hey, let's go with this one. And somehow, some way, she would always push it off to the next day. She would turn me on to something else or get me thinking about something else, and we just kept putting it off. And my stress levels was rising because we're getting closer to Christmas and we need to get the Wii under the tree. And so it ends up she finally changes her answer to me, and she's like, okay, listen, I was trying to surprise you. I already got it, and so you don't need to worry about it. And I was like, oh, well, I wanted to be a part of that, but okay. I mean, I guess as long as we got it, we've got it. So I just, was okay with that. Well, so it's Christmas morning in Colorado, and Grandma and Grandpa are there with us that particular year. And so we're digging into the presents and everything's going as planned. And then we get to this moment where Sarah hands me a gift, and I'm starting to open it, and I notice across the room that Grandma Peggy is filming, and I'm curious about that, but I don't say anything. And as I'm opening the present, and it's a little cruddy digital camera thing, Sarah whispers in my ear, I got this instead of the Wii. And I see Grandma Peggy's shoulders across the room, and she's kind of giggling, and she's filming me. And I know I'm on camera at that moment, and I can feel the blood just rising, and steam is starting to come out of my ear. But I'm keeping my composure, and I'm like waiting for the shoe to drop. Like okay, psych, just kidding. But there's no psych, there's no just kidding, and it's over. And we're cleaning up, and I'm confused, and I'm beyond disappointed. I'm like, does whatever just short of anger is. And like 10 minutes later, like it was a long amount of time, all of a sudden Grandma Peggy says, wait a second, I think there's one more. And she brings out the box. Then I realize I've been had once again. And this family constantly trying to pull pranks on me.
We love you, Brian.
And that is one epic Christmas morning that will live in infamy. Thanks to these two women in my life.
Oh, that was a good one. He was furious. That's the word.
And we all knew it.
Oh, man.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of
Hello, kids! It's Pastor Sarah here. Merry Christmas! I'm here with my mom. This is Grandma Peggy.
Hi.
And you all know Olivia. And this is my other daughter, Mia.
Hi.
And this is my grandson. It's coming next
Bun in
March.
the oven.
We are here to make a charcuterie board.
Can you say that?
Have you ever heard of a charcuterie board?
Yes. Yes, I have.
It's a really fancy thing. And I Googled it just now. Charcuterie is a French cooking word. So we're doing French cooking.
Yay.
Woo! We are going to make a Christmas charcuterie board. So what do you do first when you're going to work with food in the kitchen?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Let's do it. So what you can do, kids, at your house, hopefully you have some of this stuff around. If not, you can use other things. But this is what we have in our refrigerator. We've got carrot sticks. We've got yellow bell pepper. What else do we have, Grandma Peggy?
We have sugar snap peas, which are really yummy.
Those are my
And
favorite
we've got
vegetables.
pepper jack cheese cubes, pepperoni, and what is this white flour thing?
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. That's yummy.
Mia, what do we have over here?
We've got some yummy broccoli, some red peppers, got some cheese, my favorite. Got celery, got
Tomatoes.
some tomatoes,
Cherry
also my
tomatoes.
favorite, and olives.
So you may not like
Fancy.
all of these things, or there might be other things. Maybe you've got cucumbers. I don't know. And you could use fruit too. You could use crackers. You could use other things. But is anybody else have this happen in their house on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day? Mom and Grandma and everybody's in the kitchen making a big lunch, but 12 o'clock comes and it's not ready. And everybody's starving. Does that happen at your house?
Yes.
Because it takes so long. And so this is a great thing that you could do yourself to have out for people to snack on while you're waiting for your big meal. So we're going to make a Christmas tree. So Miss Olivia, why don't we use the broccoli and let's see if you can make a Christmas tree with the broccoli.
If it rolls off,
That's okay.
May I
But
reach
not
in
the
front
top.
of you? Let me have a celery thing right
Celeries.
here because Olivia had a good idea. That can be the stem of the tree.
Oh,
Trunk.
that's a good idea.
Trunk. Where should go down?
Figure
Like a
out
Christmas
how
tree.
wide it'll be at the bottom first.
Oh, that's a good
That's a
idea.
good idea. And
Good.
a point at the top for the star, right? Some people have angels at the top.
Yeah, well, the cauliflower could be an angel.
Could be an angel.
Or a star.
A star. Some people have a bow. There's different things you could have. We have a star.
we have a bow at our
Uh-huh.
house.
You could have whatever you want. Ooh, it's looking like a tree
It
to
is.
me.
It's filling in.
Yes, it is.
You want to make the star, Olivia, with the cauliflower?
Okay. Just take about 4 pieces of cauliflower. Leave the side, put one in the middle, and then
Oh.
put one on the top.
Pretty. Pretty.
Okay, Grandma, why don't you make the tinsel with the yellow bell peppers?
Oh, round the tree it goes. And then how about some red
Oh, yeah.
garland
Let's
too?
do red. Looking like a
Okay.
Christmas tree.
Yeah. It's lacking something though.
What does it need now, Olivia?
Ornaments.
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 Why don't we use tomatoes? And I think the pepperoni,
Yeah.
they would make cute ornaments too.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Just sprinkle around some.
Yeah. It's
Are
coming
you
right
guys
along.
getting ideas at your house for making a Christmas board?
That's good. That looks good.
How
There
about
you
the skirt? Yeah, let's do carrots and celery and sugar snap peas. Like like
There you go.
stripes.
Stripes.
Okay.
I don't know if you've
Okay.
ever eaten these sugar snap peas. They're really good.
And they're a
Just
yummy
they're-
vegetable.
Dip them with
They're one of-
ranch dressing. They're yummy. Hey, that is a
It's a pretty
pretty
skirt.
skirt. Do you guys have
Gotta
Christmas
flip it
skirts under
backwards.
your Christmas trees?
We do.
We do too, to cover up the bottom metal yucky part.
My grandma made my Christmas tree skirt.
Yeah, but my mom made mine too, which was her grandma. Yeah. It gets covered up with presents.
You don't see it.
That's okay. We like the
Good job,
presents.
girls.
Good job.
Now, how about the cheese cubes as the presents?
Oh,
under the
yeah.
tree on the skirt.
Are you gonna have presents?
I hope hope so.
Oh, I hope so.
You know, kids, if you don't have a tray like this, I've seen charcuterie boards done where you just lay out foil or wax paper.
Cardboard.
Anything that's clean, you can lay on a counter and you can make it right on your counter.
Or if you have a wooden cutting board.
Big
Yeah.
cutting board, you don't
Cutting
have to have a
boards.
tray like that.
Right.
Or even just a regular plate and make a little
You
one.
can make a little one on a plate. There's lots of ways to do it.
How about some olives?
We need some olive ornaments.
Ornaments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because you can't have too many ornaments.
I don't think so, huh?
And the good thing about this is you just pick up what you like and you leave what you don't like. And now Mia over there has ranch dressing. What makes vegetables even better?
Ranch dressing.
Or you may have other dips you like at your house. You could use guacamole, you could use salsa, you could use lots of things. We're gonna use ranch. And we've got this snowman looking thing. It's like a snowman bowl. And we're gonna put ranch in it because sometimes out in the forest where the Christmas trees would be, you could have a snowman if there was snow. So we're pretending like there's a snowman out in the forest with the ranch dressing.
And he's got a bunch of freckles.
There's dirt in his snowman. And then we're just gonna set that right here next to our tray. And now we have a very fancy Christmas charcuterie board for you to snack on while you're waiting for Christmas dinner. You can put crackers out too. You can put those on your tray. Mia is giving the snowman a face.
Oh, that's cute.
We can make a little hat. For the,
Oh, giving him a little hat. We're getting very creative now. So as you can see, you could go on and on. But this is our charcuterie board, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you soon.
Merry
Merry
Christmas!
Bye. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the waves, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Oh,
like to tell a Christmas story that starts in the summer, and it started in a summer a long time ago, 1955. At that time, I was 9 years old, and that particular day in July, my brothers and I and my sister were coming back from a swimming session that we had in St. Charles County, and we pulled in the driveway at our house in St. Louis County, and there were cars parked everywhere, which was kind of strange on a Saturday. We would not expect that. And as we were getting ready to get out of the car, my aunt came running to the car and leaned in. My older brother was driving and said, "Jay's gone." Well, I was sitting right behind my brother, and I knew where Jay was. He was in California. He was in the Marines, and he was very close to being discharged. And so Jay is gone, made sense. That's where he was, and I didn't understand what she was saying, but my brother did immediately. He leaned over in the car, I remember, and leaned his head against the steering wheel and began to sob. And I was trying to put all this together, the cars and the announcement, and it didn't make sense to me right away. But as the hours went by, I began to realize that he had died in California. He was going to be discharged later that summer, and he and some of his Marine buddies were out on a leave from base. They were in a car accident. They were in a convertible. He was thrown out of the convertible, and he died that day. The next few days were kind of all a blur as all the neighbors and friends and relatives came in to try to bring us some comfort these difficult times. I didn't see my mom for several hours, for really a few days. But one afternoon I crept upstairs to the front bedroom and peeked around into the room, and I saw her there stretched out across the bed with her face buried in a pillow. Her two sisters were with her, and they were trying to comfort her, but she wouldn't be comforted. Her heart was broken. Jay was 19 years old when this happened. So we had the funeral for Jay. Mom didn't go to the funeral. It was a very hot summer day in July when we laid Jay to rest. Over time, folks left. The Marine escort that came with Jay's body, he went back to Camp Pendleton in California, and things began to kind of get back to normal. But we weren't quite able to do that, really. School started in the fall, and we found out later that Mom would get up and get us off to school, and then she would go back into bed, and we'd get up in the afternoon when we would be coming home to put things together for us for an evening meal. But that went on for months, where she was, I guess, depressed. Thanksgiving came and went. Nothing to remember about that. But Christmas 1955 was going to be different. We were sitting in our living room watching our little black and white TV, and we heard music, some songs being sung out on our front lawn one night in that December. And we invited the little choir in, and they sang Christmas carols. And I was sitting next to my mom, and I looked up, and there were tears running down her face. And I didn't understand why she would be crying, really. But as I look back on that night, I realized that this little choir from a nearby church was bringing Christmas to us that night, and really bringing Christ to us. we were being comforted by this little group, and I didn't really realize what was going on until later in life, but that was a special night when Jesus was brought to us by some caring Christian folks. So 1955 is a special year for that reason.
My heart is overwhelmed, and I cannot hear your voice. I hold on to what is true, though I cannot see. The storms of life, they come, and the road ahead gets steep.
Well, of course, one of the most exciting things about Christmas is opening presents. And I have one right here, and I'm going to open it, and let's see what it is. Is it a basketball? A hockey stick? Ooh, it's a random box with something really cool inside. Ooh, it is Baby Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish, but have everlasting life. That includes the shepherds. It includes the wise men. It even includes Joseph and Mary themselves. And it includes you and I. All the other stuff that we do at Christmas, it's fun, but nothing is more important than believing in who Jesus is and what he has done for us. Let's sing together.
In the darkness we were waiting, without hope and without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes.
One of the great Christmas texts that we have from the New Testament is John chapter 1. Very famous passage, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning, and everything came into being through him, and nothing that has come into being came into being without him. But there's a very interesting verse that comes in right about halfway through in verse 14 where it says, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us." And I want us to sit with this verse this morning because there's a really powerful truth inside of here, but there's an even deeper reflection inside of it. And it all centers around this very Christmassy word that we hear around this time of year, Emmanuel. Now, many of you, probably all of you, know that the word Emmanuel means God with us. Some of you may even know that Emmanuel actually comes directly from the Hebrew, with the word Em being with, Manu being us, basically. And so when you put Em and Manu together, Imanu means with us, and then El is the shortened form of the word God. And so Emmanuel actually can be a small Hebrew sentence meaning God is with us, or with us is God, if you want to translate it super literally. And so Christmas is this time of celebrating that God is with us. And in Jesus, this takes on this new radical way of God being with us, in that God takes on flesh and dwells among us. And this is part of John's reflection in verse 14. But where's the deeper reflection with that? Why is it so important that God has now taken on flesh and is dwelling among us? Well, what's really interesting is when you start to look at the Greek of verse 14, you start looking at this word dwelling. This word dwelling is the Greek word skeneo. Try saying that 5 times fast. But it's this word dwelling, the NASB translates it dwelling. It probably better means God made his tent. God put up a tent and lived inside of it and decided to dwell in that among us. And this is where I think John is inviting us into a deeper reflection. And the Gospel of John does this really well. You can almost think of John as like a commentary or an invitation to deeper reflection on some Old Testament truths. Because what I believe John is doing right here is pointing us all the way back to the Old Testament, pointing us all the way back to the book of Exodus, right? After God has given this immense measure of grace to Israel, he has said, I am freeing you from slavery. I'm going to be your God, and you're going to be my people. And what does God do after that? God says, I'm going to now enter into your reality, and wherever you go, I will go. And wherever you decide to be, I will decide to be. And the representation of that for the nation of Israel is what we call the tabernacle. And the tabernacle, for those who may not know, is basically a mobile temple, right? There's a whole bunch of building instructions towards the end of Exodus for it, where it has to be the certain dimensions, made out of these certain things. But the tabernacle is really just a fancy word for a tent. It's a mobile temple representing that God's presence goes with the people of Israel, wherever they may happen to be. And there's this beautiful image at the end of the book of Exodus after they have set up the tabernacle, and there's a pillar of fire and smoke that comes and rests on top of the tabernacle, and you see that God's presence is now dwelling among the people. And hopefully now you're starting to make the connection between the two. You see, Jesus represents to us and manifests for us this God who throughout all of time and history has desired to be with God's people, has desired to live and to dwell among them. Whether it be Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, where God is walking around, the word can be translated there as like meandering slowly around in the garden, walking with Adam and Eve in the cool of the day. Or whether it's God setting up his new dwelling establishment with the people as they get ready to leave from Egypt and start walking into Israel, and the tabernacle goes with them. Whether it's the people living in the promised land, trying to set up a permanent established building. Whether it's people in exile who say, we don't have a temple, we don't have a tabernacle. Does God still go with us? Whether it's people who have come back and who have seen the temple and the tabernacle taken away from them. These people living under Roman rule that say, where is God now? John says to that, God dwells in flesh now among you. And friends, this is what we celebrate at Christmas, and this is why Advent, the preparation and the anticipation and the expectation, is so important for us, because we wait and we prepare and we hope and we say, God, where are you? Do you still live among us? And John's reflection and John's answer to that question is yes. In the same way that God dwelt with the Israelites in the form of the tabernacle, and in the same way in the New Testament, God dwelt among God's people in the form of flesh. Jesus promised us that when he left, he would send to us the Comforter, the Advocate. And so on Christmas, we celebrate the entirety of God dwelling with us. The God who dwelt with the Israelites in the tent, the God who dwelt among us in flesh, and the God who we are preparing for to return, where we may dwell fully and completely in God's presence forevermore. And so I invite you this morning, wherever you are, to take some time of reflection with this word dwelling, this word setting up a tent, right? What does that mean for you and your family? As you guys prepare to open presents, or maybe you've already opened presents, maybe you're getting ready to go eat lunch or go eat dinner, or you're spending time together, what does it actually look like for God to have set up his dwelling, living among you and your family? What does it look like for your place of business, or for your school? What does it look like when you go and interact out in the world? Because again, remember, the tent is not a firm and established place, but it is the very presence of a God who goes with us. So I encourage you to spend some time talking, reflecting on these things as we continue to celebrate the presence of the God who put on flesh and dwelt among us.
we sure have enjoyed spending this time with you. As you can see, Olivia is handing out our presents. This one has my name on it. Our anticipation has finally come to an end. And I want to encourage you as a family to take a few moments and talk about a few things. Number one, what are some of your favorite Christmas memories or stories? Number two, why is Christmas so special to you? And then lastly, but most importantly, why is Christmas so important to the world? Once you've talked about that for a little while as a family, spend some time praying together. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we will see you next Sunday in the building, New Year's Day. Have a great week. Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.